Picture this. The camera pans across Soldier Field, the anthem swells, and the nation's eyes turn to the players standing shoulder to shoulder. Then you see Caleb Williams, helmet under arm, lean over and ask a teammate something so small that in any other moment it would disappear into the noise, except now it gets looped, clipped, and turned into a headline. He's been in Chicago for a year, but that one tiny motion, the lean, the whisper, the shrug from Kevin Byard, lit the internet up. People immediately assumed the question, who is singing? The guess was natural. Jim Cornelison, the man Williams likely asked about, doesn't just sing the anthem, he performs it. For Blackhawks fans and Chicagoans who've been to the United Center, Cornelison's rendition is a civic event. He's the voice that cues the crowd to sing like their lives depend on it, and he's become a local legend for it. So when a national camera moment captured Williams's the uncertainty, social media reacted like a neighborhood caught gossiping on a Tuesday. Let's not pretend the reaction was purely mean. A lot of it was affectionate ribbing, folks pointing out that this is Chicago Culture 101. He's been here a year. How does he not know Cornelison? Read 1,000 takes. Others used it as shorthand for a broader point about modern sports stardom. Being famous doesn't automatically mean you're culturally fluent in every city you play in. Fans want their icons to be in the know. They want the rookie to recognize the local hero. It makes sense. Sports fandom is local identity as much as it's national spectacle. A missed cultural cue becomes a little betrayal, not of ethics, but of expectation. There's also a deeper, gentler story here about adjustment and context. Caleb Williams came to the NFL under a blinding spotlight. College legend, top draft pick, media magnet, the transition to a new city is more complicated than a list of press conferences and playbooks. You move into a community that already has its rituals, and until you live them, until you go to a Blackhawks game or someone hands you a playlist that includes Cornelison's Anthem, those rituals aren't intuitive. For a 20-something quarterback juggling playbooks, performance reps, and 1,000 public asks, it isn't shocking that he might not immediately recognize a local anthem singer. It's human. It's human. The optics got noisier because the Bears lost. They had a 17-6 lead late, only to see the Vikings roar back with 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns and a 27-24 loss. Sports fans are especially unforgiving on nights like that. When the on-field result disappoints, small off-field moments become pressure valves for criticism. The narrative flips quickly. The rookie who asked a question becomes the rookie who didn't respect the city. And that story is easier to talk about than an entire defensive scheme that collapsed in the final 15 minutes. But let's be precise. None of this had anything to do with how Williams played. At Soldier Field, the game itself featured the kind of late-game unraveling coaches dread. Pressure on the offense, defensive lapses, and the mental mistakes that pile up like unpaid bills. Williams spoke after the game with the honesty you want from a quarterback. They felt in control, they didn't finish, and that failure stung. This is the real conversation the team needs to have with itself. The discipline in closing games, not the trivia about who sang the anthem. Still, cultural cues matter. They aren't trivial because they're petty. They matter because they reveal attention to detail, respect for place, and an athlete's willingness to invest in the town that pays his salary and cheers his name. A simple recognition of a local legend isn't performative. It's part of professional socialization. When players lean into those small rituals, fans notice. When they don't, fans notice that too. It's a two-way street. The franchise can help accelerate that socialization by connecting rookies to the city. Curated experiences, community nights, or just older players handing down the how we do things here script. Here's the practical part for coaches and leaders. Manage the narrative and manage the rookie. Instead of letting a clip drive the conversation for days, use it as a teaching angle. Have a veteran take Williams to a Blackhawks game. Let him meet Cornelison for 5 minutes. Frame it as onboarding, not as punishment. That's how cultures scale in winning organizations. Small rituals become part of the onboarding because leaders make them so. Replace social media scaffolding with institutional scaffolding. The team's internal culture will be stronger for it. For fans, a reminder: context changes tone. If you're furious because a newcomer didn't immediately know a local fixture, Consider what you'd have done at 22 in a crowded new city with 1,000 pulls on your attention. Fame compresses your privacy and publicizes your ignorance. It's fair to expect learning and growth. It's indulgent to expect instantaneous literacy. And for Williams himself, the lesson is tiny and clear. Learn the town. Not because it's a PR task, but because local rituals are ways to build bridges. The people who sing at the United Center have been parts of people's lives for decades. When a player recognizes that, it isn't a check in a PR box, it's a gesture of belonging. If Williams leans into that, he'll get more goodwill than any post-game soundbite can buy. Finally, there's a larger cultural beat about what viral moments do to a young athlete's psyche. A single clip can define public perception for a week. It will get replayed, remixed, and used as clickbait. The mental load on a rookie is heavy. Practice, play calling, film study, and then the weird world where your curiosity in the moment becomes 1,000 hot takes. The healthy approach is to normalize mistakes, double down on learning, and let performance be the corrective. If Williams starts closing games and shows consistent leadership on the field, the clip becomes a quirky anecdote rather than a defining scar. So what should you take away when someone brings up the Anthem clip at your next bar debate or group chat? Say this: Caleb Williams' little moment at the national anthem is less a scandal than it is a snapshot of adjustment. It's a reminder that professional athletes are still human beings moving into new social worlds. The real story will be written on the field: how he learns, how he leads, and whether he helps the Bears close the kinds of games they let slip away on Monday night. And if you want to be a little kinder to the kid, next time you see a rookie leaning over to whisper during the anthem, offer the benefit of the doubt. He's probably asking about the music because in every new city, there's always someone whose name you should know a year after you arrive. Caleb Williams went viral for the wrong reason Monday night, and it had nothing to do with the final score. As the national anthem played at Soldier Field, cameras caught Williams leaning toward teammate Kevin Byard and apparently asking who was singing. Byard's off-camera "I've no idea" only added fuel to social media, where fans quickly identified the singer as Jim Cornelison, the Blackhawks' anthem legend. The clip spread fast. Some viewers laughed it off as a rookie moment. Others raised an eyebrow that Williams, a first-round pick who's been in Chicago more than a year, didn't recognize a local icon. Cornelison's performances at the United Center have become part of Chicago sports lore, and fans were quick to remind Williams what a big deal the singer is. Reactions ranged from gentle ribbing to blunt surprise. He's been in Chicago for over a year. How does he not know this guy? On the field, the moment was small but symbolic. The Bears blew a 17-6 lead late and lost 27-24 after Minnesota rallied with 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Williams, who had looked composed through 3 quarters, admitted afterward that the team failed to close. "We felt like we were dominating the game," he said. "We were in control up to 2 scores coming out of half. That mentality is something that we have, something that we preach. That didn't happen today." The takeaway is twofold. First, the anthem clip highlights how every micro moment can become its own headline in the social media era, especially when a rookie QB is involved. Second, the loss itself is the bigger story for Chicago: a squandered lead, late game breakdowns, and a quarterback under renewed pressure to show growth in close games. For Williams, the viral clip is a minor distraction, but distractions pile up in a tight division. The real metric will be how he responds. Clean up the fourth quarter, own the postgame, and show he can lead in crunch time. For the Bears, this one hurts because a home win slipped away. The fixes are football fundamentals, not social media lessons. Still, expect the internet to keep spinning on Friday's viral moment long after the stat sheet is filed.